What's going on, everybody? This is Rockstar of the Misfit Effect, and I am joined with my wonderful co-host, the lovely, beautiful, awesome Sarah Lace.
Hey, so I am back filming from my bedroom because again, the plumbing is messed up. But anyways, that is not going to stop us from being here and doing our thing. And today I know I always say special guest, but today we have got, I will say, a veteran in the game, okay? She has been modeling for about 10 years now, and ooh, her pictures are fire. So let me introduce y'all to the gorgeous Kayleigh Cake.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
So,
We are
Kayleigh,
doing great, thank you.
Tell us about yourself. Who is Kayleigh Cake?
Mhm.
Well, besides with this industry, of course, in the adult entertainment scene, I am a dancer. I'm a singer as well. So I just work in general entertainment. I have been modeling now for about 10 years and dancing now for 20. So anything that entertains people, I love to do. I love to perform. So
Okay, I did see that you don't just do exotic dancing, you do go-go, belly dance, burlesque, hip hop, and I think a couple of other genres as well.
yeah, I do. So I was raised doing ballet, tap, jazz, and hip hop. And then I started doing belly dancing right about 12 years old, and I've been doing that since. And I still perform with my troupe with that, and it's just it's such an incredible experience to be able to, it's extremely like physically exhilarating, and it's great for you to do, but it's so much fun too. I really have a blast doing what I do. So it's such for such a long time too. It's been an honor.
And then as far as that goes, I don't know if you have a favorite, but do you happen to have maybe a favorite dance style or technique that you like?
Ooh, I would say, oh, that's really hard. It's probably pretty close to belly dancing, but I really do. I love twerking too, as like an exotic dancer. Just moving my hips in general. If I can incorporate anything to be able to move my full body, then that's really what I like. And you can do so many different dance styles just in order to move your stomach and your hips too. So that's really hard to say, but it comes closer probably to belly dancing since that's when you definitely use it the most. Um, and it's just the most focused on that. So yeah, I would say more leaning in that direction. I do my aerial too and acrobatic, and I love that too. Totally different world, and a very different thing as well. But I love pull, and that's the closest you can come to just moving your hips and doing aerial. So that's another one that I really do enjoy.
I seen someone doing the aerial, and I always just get scared of falling. That's all I can see in my head. Like I'm like, oh my God, please be safe. I'm enjoying the show because you got talent, but please don't fall.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's part of the exciting part too of it. Probably one of the most exciting parts, the adrenaline rush you get from it, and hanging on for dear life that really builds your strength. So it's
See,
it's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no upper body strength. I would literally be up there trying to do something and I would collapse within like 25 seconds. You
Uh,
know. Oh, I know. I know. Like I've put too much my body do too many things to even try to do that. My body hates my body hates me at this point.
You
oh.
know, a funny, I guess, funny fun fact about me is so I did used to be in the military, and then after that, I started pole dancing. I was actually physically stronger as a pole dancer than my entire time in the military. Even like right after boot camp when we're supposed to be at our fittest or whatever, I went from that to dancing and realized I am not as fit as I thought I was.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, I believe it. I was extremely athletic in high school. I played like every sport under the sun. And during training too, when my body be so sore, we'd need to take ice baths, and just stretch. And,
Yeah.
you know, I always thought that's when I was the strongest. And until I started pole dancing, you're absolutely right. And it's been able to transfer so well into other things. I love rock climbing too. So having that upper body strength and especially the grip now too has been incredible. And especially in our industry, the grip's awesome. So,
That grip. I get that
oh
grip.
yeah, girl. You know.
I get that. I've also heard that it translates well if you want to like ski or surfboard because of all that core, you
Yeah, the
know?
core and the balance too. I'd say the biggest thing is you work on so your core. I mean, once you have that core strength, that is kind of the center of all your balance.
Mhm.
But yeah, I could see that for sure. It would be definitely a little harder since you're just not moving. But
Mhm.
for the balance wise, I can definitely see it. Yeah.
And
So,
I did see that you became an internationally published model. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and maybe how your dancing may have helped with your poses?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, and you know, it's so awesome that you said that because with dancing, it really does help with modeling. And if you can honestly do some great poses with modeling, that can transfer to the flow really well with dancing. They both do go hand in hand. You know, sometimes even when I'm go-go dancing and I'm tired on stage, I just start striking modeling poses and just kind of flow into it, and no one notices. And sometimes when I'm behind the camera, I just kind of dance very slowly, and they'll shoot that if they shoot at a faster pace, which works out awesome. So yeah, that's a really cool part about it that I've been able to kind of just go between the two, and I think it does really help. So I always recommend to one or to the other to do both, or to also even like rock climb and work on your upper body strength for it, and that always helps for a lot of it. And even with modeling, your back will hurt, so even just having that back strength too, that's extremely important. But yeah, I got internationally published just about every year. I get the honor to be. It's in the Nude book, and it's actually a hard copy of just beautiful portraits from around the entire world. It's really, really cool. America
interesting.
doesn't get as many features, so it's quite incredible. It's honestly, we get to shoot in Moab, Utah for it, which is just so beautiful. And uh, thanks to David Wirt, he's the main one. I've gotten internationally published and just regularly published here in the US a few
Mhm.
other times, but he's the one that really got the ball rolling for that, and just such a sweetheart, great example of how a photographer should be with his professionalism and respect and helping you get out there too. And just being in such a beautiful place. It's very meditating getting to go out there. And yeah, I'm just about 27 now, and he got me internationally published when I was just about 20, I'd say. So for the last 7 years, it's been so incredible. It's really, I can't believe it was so long ago because I'm still learning so much every day, and still working on getting better too. So yeah, it's just been incredible.
That's awesome to hear. Um, so so I had a question and then it left, but I do have another question. As far as within the industry or the adult industry, what are some things or niches that you represent?
Yeah, that's a good question too, because I talk about this a lot. So for me personally, and my hair color is kind of always changing, but how I started out was just like long redhead. I'm definitely more lean, muscular, like skinny build. So I
Mhm.
base it more off that. I started off just kind of that more like I am Irish, and I was before I moved to Vegas. So before I was tanning, while I was in Colorado, I just had that long red hair, more fair skin,
Mhm.
and way less tattoos too. So over time too, that's a big thing. Niches can change. I'm a lot more muscular now. I've gained just a little bit more weight with just working out and doing all my aerial and dancing here. Got more tan being in Vegas. Definitely have been eating more here in Vegas. The food's amazing. So that's a big part of it. And now I just have my natural hair, which is just like an extremely dark blonde. And just letting that grow out. And I've been doing my hair like more curly and stuff now. When we get our hair and makeup done, I have them curl it So just completely different, uh, I
Niche.
want to say entirely look overall. I'm still that like more lean, muscular style, but even having a ton of tattoos now, very different. But what's cool too with niches, it can fit into your personality, and my personality has not changed. So still that kind of girl next door who has a little bit of an attitude. It's definitely that's always been Kayleigh Cake. So
I get that.
yeah,
I like to
So,
call it the bratty sis vibe.
yeah, I like that. That's perfect.
so how long have you actually been shooting on the porn side?
Yeah, so more amateur style when I was really just doing collabs with other content creators. That started right around the pandemic back in 2020. And even a little bit before then, back in like 2018, with just partners just making films and stuff like that, getting a little seasoned into it and just saving it amongst each other, of course. But um, professionally, though, I started 2 years ago last February when I moved out here to Vegas, is really when I decided, I'm going to get with an agency, take this a lot more seriously, do this professionally too, which has helped a ton. Um, and yeah, so 2 years with mainstream, though, just give or take a little bit over that.
Okay, nice. So I do feel like because you've already been modeling and you've been acting on the side as well, that it made it so once you came into the adult industry and stepped into the professional side of it, you kind of just like hit it really good, like a home run, you know?
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's it's been a lot, honestly. It's taken a lot to get here, a lot of networking and a lot of building. But I appreciate that a ton. I was surprised with how comfortable I was able to just kind of not necessarily go with the flow, but yeah, and at the same time, just be comfortable with everything and be able to perform and do everything asked of me. I was, of course, when we start out anything new, we're like, can I do this? Am I going to be capable? Am I going to be good at it? And um, it seems like everyone's been just like quite impressed, which has made me feel really good. I'm like, okay, it seems like I am, fitting in where I belong to, and it's made me feel just very accepted, which is really nice too. So I appreciate you saying that. So thank you.
And since you've only been in the industry for a couple of years, as far as the porn side, have you been to any like conventions or award shows just yet?
Yeah, so I got to just walk around AVN back in it was 23. Um where was it 24? No, it was 24, I'm sorry. So of 25, I actually got to go dance on Groove Cruise, which was the same time as AVN. But I've been told we're not doing that anymore, so I will be luckily this is going to be the first one I get to go to for AVN. I was invited out to the Chicago, I believe it's the Exotica
Mhm.
can one, and that's coming up here April 11th. And I have to work through that with doing films in other places. So sometimes that kind of runs into the issue too. I really need to maybe start booking in those areas when they have those award shows. But this is for sure going to be my first AVN with 101, most definitely, because they've been asking me um, last year to be able to stand with their booth too. Um,
Mhm.
and it'll be a lot more fun than just walking around. I'm sure as fun as that is to meet everyone and to see everything, to be able to be a part of it is so exciting.
Absolutely. I will admit, like, it can be pretty chaotic,
Yeah,
especially trying to schedule your booth times and your filming times around everything.
I could see
That
that.
that can get pretty wild, but I feel like once you're done with that week, you just feel so happy and relieved and just like, wow, I did that.
Oh, that's nice. No, I would love that. I could see what you're saying too, which tells me that's good. Maybe book a little bit less than what will probably be expected because so many people come in during that time, and even though I went on the cruise, I ended up doing 3 or 4 films around AVN of people visiting for AVN. So you always get just a ton of networking opportunities. and collab opportunities when you go to the conventions, which is awesome. But I'll probably maybe just slow it down. So that thank you for letting me know that for the future to just maybe do just like a couple or a handful instead of a whole ton if I spend more time at the convention.
I will say that it could be very helpful if you just know when the award shows are also because um yeah, this wouldn't happen before this on Memorial Day weekend is the XRCO Awards. And that's it here in LA. And that's just an award show like that which is strictly for adult performers, so no fans, no nothing. It's just literally just performers,
Industry only.
and you can network there too and just meet just all the performers and like not even if just saying like, hey, I want to do content, but just meeting the people in the industry because sometimes you never know who you run into and what
Mhm.
influence they have on certain companies
Right.
and which can be, beneficial to saying, hey, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Because
can see
I'm saying it's more than just AVN. Because I personally have never been to AVN, and I've been in porn since 2008.
that. Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's just because I said I'm not a performer. I never like go ever doing content. So, but I've been to X3, XBiz Miami, and XRCO and the Urban X Awards. So.
Okay.
It just
Mm-hmm.
very like it's so many various ways, especially stuff that's since you are in I don't want to say your location, but you are in a good place to meet a lot of different people for different events that are currently going on that aren't just AVN.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there's so many of them too. Now that I am more involved in the industry and just know people and I just hear mentions of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much more. I thought there was only maybe like two or three of them.
Oh no,
So
there's like
not expecting,
9.
yeah, no
I
kidding.
was gonna say six, but I knew I was wrong with that one. There is closer to like nine
Yeah,
events.
like
Wow.
AVN, XRCO, XBiz Miami, Urban X Awards, ASN, what's this, Night Moves. Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Wow.
there's two more I'm
Yeah,
missing right
so
now.
there's definitely a few. I don't say you have to go to all of them, but I recommend going to like at least two per year,
Okay.
just so you
Yeah.
can get your name out there. And I feel like that's the best way to network and in a sense to get bookings, because that's the time when like a lot of producers and other industry members will see you there face to face. You get to show them who you really are, your personality, that natural beauty. So I definitely feel like that would be a great opportunity for you.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about this Groove Cruise?
Oh yeah, so it's yeah, called the Groove Cruise and it sails out of Miami and so much fun. One of the best experiences that I've ever had. I really do love dancing, but I love EDM music. Pretty much all kinds of EDM. This one does focus more on house music. So if you like house music and it's a very mature, super fun group of people that end up going to it, just everyone gets along, has a good time. Now it's a lot. You're going to be exhausted. You're out in the sun and you're dancing the whole day, but food is great. Complimentary as long as you make sure you're staying hydrated. And lucky for me, I don't drink. I don't partake in any party favors, so I was able to have a blast and go for a lot longer, which is nice too. Making sure I was drinking water at least and still eating, of course, because that's like probably the hardest part about it. You just want to dance the whole time. But beautiful stops too. Water was so warm. We got to dance in the ocean with a DJ on the beach. So yeah, just great overall experience, and I absolutely love dancing for the group that I'm a part of too. So it was really hard deciphering the two. We just know about because since it's a cruise, we know about the cruise way earlier than we hear about AVN dates.
Mhm.
Now AVN got a little bit better about it they did release the dates at the same time, but our crew was just like, hey, we're gonna do this other retreat this year, and we decided we're just completely X-maying it after, gosh, like over a decade of going on those cruises. But everything's just
It's
getting more expensive. So that's nice. I was like, this works out great for me because I get a little motion sickness on the boat anyway, so we can go to a on the ground retreat with that group, still perform. It'll be a fun time, and I can go to AVN and get to experience that and be a part of it. So I was like, this year is really working out super well in those regards.
word of knowledge. AVN is usually always the third week of January.
Oh no, really always, and yeah,
It's
that's
well,
exactly.
90% of the time is third week, and then
Mhm.
90 like the other award show, which is the week before,
Uh-huh.
is X3 or X Biz Awards. That's
Okay.
usually the second week of January.
Okay, cool. That's good to
That's
know. Yeah.
yeah.
I kept looking at the website was the only way I was knowing, but that's better. Just the third week of January is way
Mhm.
easier to
Yeah.
remember.
That's like well like think of it like this. Second week of like think about the main four. X3 is usually January, the second week. X3, whatever. AV is usually the third week of January.
Okay.
XRCO is normally the very end of May.
Mhm.
Um, and that's
Oh,
usually the same weekend, usually Memorial Day or the week before. And then Urban X is always in August, Urban X Awards. So those are the what they call the big four, the larger of the four award shows. And
okay.
then all the other ones, they play around with their dates. So
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
depending on which ones you want to go to, because like all erotic is not in, LA or LA or Vegas. It's on the East Coast,
Mhm.
compared to like ASN, which is in Florida, and so is X Biz Miami. So I've
Gotcha. And
only
that, yeah, good one, Miami.
yeah, so I'm only going to three award shows this year. So like far less than I normally would go to, but I'm so busy this year. So I understand like you got to get so much going on. It's kind of like, oh, I don't
Mhm.
have the time.
For real. And I will say, actually, since you do like dancing, you like performing, Exotica does accept slash hire go-go dancers.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, they're just called Exotica hotties,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of go-go dancing and a little bit of pole dancing as well.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. With my dance team, we're called the Dancer Hotties. So that's like, that was perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Yes.
that's nice. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll have to look into that one for sure, because that will probably be more of a the for sure one. I'm curious about the Miami one too. I'd love to. I'll have to afterwards message you guys with the names and locations of those main four, maybe five that you said, just so I can
The
try
main,
to
the
do.
main four, um, two of them, three of them are in LA.
Okay. Oh, that
The
makes it
three,
easier for me to drive.
Yeah.
Cool.
the three of them in LA, the one's in Vegas. And then you have
Yeah.
the other ones which are in Florida, Philadelphia. So
I'll send you the list, girl. I'll send you the list.
I've seen the list because I do have a whole bunch, but yeah.
So we've talked a lot about what you do for work, but now let's talk about what you do for fun. What are some of your hobbies that you like to do? And it's like, how do you like to essentially decompress after work?
Yeah. So honestly, since I do dance and I do aerial a lot, I am in the studio and in the gym a lot of the time. That is a huge hobby of mine is to go work out and to train for aerial and take classes. And so even though I dance for work, I still take dance classes too
Hmm.
and I'll take all forms of dancing as well. I'll still be getting better at belly dancing and twerking too, while still learning other forms of dance. Trying to get better at my more modern type of style of dancing too. Want to learn salsa, doing tango. They offer so many different dance classes here on the West Coast. It's incredible. So being able to learn new stuff too. I am constantly taking classes. I love to learn. I'm a very physical learner as well. So even though I go work out at the gym, I also have a personal trainer at another gym too to just work on my form and learn more techniques there too as well. So that's the main thing I like to do. Hiking, of course, just singing on my own accord. I definitely do a lot. I do love my epoxy resin. I like to make crafts, um, like more things that people can use, more like physical objects. I do enjoy. Um, Behind you guys, I have tons of plants. I do have a bit of a green thumb, I like to say, coming from Colorado. So
I
I
just
did
killed
bring.
all my plants.
Oh no, I could help you with that. I killed a lot of them when I moved here to Vegas and brought them all with. I want to say I did kill like a good like quarter of them, and end up luckily replacing and buying a few new ones that do better out here in the desert because it's life here is yeah, it's not as green, definitely not as green, less water. So as much as I love the warmth, we don't have the plants as much. But yeah, so anytime I can go out in nature, that's another big one. Speaking of which, if I can drive to the ocean, drive to the hot springs, or even up to the mountains here, Mount Charleston, and just get in some greenery or see some water, I absolutely love to do that. Traveling is a huge hobby of mine, pastime. That's why with this job, getting able to travel for it so much has been amazing. Truly the best type of work you could do is to be able to travel. So I'm very blessed for that because those are, yeah, the main things besides hanging out with friends. I love seeing my people. I
Mhm.
love going out with them and we go dancing, we go swimming together. I've made some incredible friends here and in Colorado too. I go out and visit them and then we travel together too. So hanging out with my friends is a really big part of my life too. We'll even we go paddle boarding. We'll go to the water park. It's the closest water stuff you can really find. Hot springs.
Mhm.
It's hard here in Vegas, but we make it work. You know, we do. It's a beautiful place, even with the lack of greenery. So, yeah.
I
Abs-
the plants I killed was an orchid,
Oh
and
no.
Oh, it might just be in hibernation.
well, the leaves fell off.
It might still be in hibernation. Unless you
Well,
throw it away, then it's done.
yeah, if the stem is still green, then you're okay. Orchids are a lot harder here. It's funny you say that. I just bought one yesterday. They like a very light amount of water, like once a week, and barely any light. So, like here in Vegas, that water part's easy, but that sun part's really hard. So, do like 3 ice cubes once a week. If you keep it kind of like maybe in like the middle of your house, if you have like decent windows, no windows, maybe like as close as you can to one. They're so stubborn in the desert. That's a hard one too. But she is right. If the leaves just fell off and the stem was green, it might have
Okay,
just gone into
well, then
hibernation.
yeah, well, it's still green. I just thought it was dead, dead.
Oh
My
yeah,
It's
friend,
hibernating.
my friend was here the other day. Was like, "Oh, your poor orchid," and I'm like, "Yes," because someone like I had just moved where I live at now, and someone purchased it for me as like a housewarming plant, whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah," like because I have another performer, Whitney Wright. She told me about like how to. She told me an app to use so I can make sure I
yeah,
take Planta, and like I try to follow everything on there, and I just got an alert today saying, please water your orchid, because I have snake plants, and I know it's sad you can't make snake plants thrive because they need water every 2 weeks, and
yeah.
I think my issue is I don't know how to properly water. Like
Mm.
I think I'll overwater sometimes.
Yeah. If you're overwatering, ice cubes is a way to not do that as much, or watering from underneath as well. That's also a better way
I
to not
think
overwater.
I think I have the kind where the holes are on the side, so it
Uh-huh.
just drips out this way instead of dripping down under.
Yeah, okay. Then just maybe water. That's surprising. And as we're going into, if you're in Vegas too, as we're going into the summer, I
I'm
do
in
notice
LA.
my indoor plants, I'm watering them more because it's just getting a little hotter, and probably the
Mm.
sun is staying out longer for the window plants. So that is surprising for the desert. But yeah, if you can just monitor watering it a little less without forgetting about them completely, then you could be solid.
I'm in LA, so like
Okay.
So
It's
I
it's
guess
more cons
similar weather, but a little more humidity, I'd say.
yeah,
this
they're
is
more consistent too year round for your guys' weather. So
Oh,
so
and not to negate your gardening skills, but I have been hearing that the ice cubes essentially shock the plant or
yeah,
the
so if you
sun.
put it, that's a good point. If you put it on the plant directly, you want to just put it on the soil too.
Okay.
And what's nice too is being here, it's so hot. It's not as bad when we're somewhere that's like closer to like the hundreds as well. Now, being in Colorado, it's funny because I was never told this in Colorado, but here I'm told it all the time. So I don't know if it's part of just being in such a hot, much drier climate too. But yeah, regardless though, you don't want to put on the plant directly. If the pot's big enough and you can get it just on the soil instead, that's a lot better with, and yeah, you're right with the temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I'll
not too much
definitely
ice too.
try that. I'll definitely try that because I've been like trying to figure out different ways to water my plants and stuff. And I kept seeing the ice cube things, but I kept seeing kind of both sides. And I'm like, I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
and ask other plant people.
Yeah, I could imagine too if you use way too much ice or it's like directly and too much of it is directly on it. I can definitely see that being an issue. And if it takes way too long to even melt too, and
Mhm.
it's just sitting there freezing it, I could see that being a problem too and it going into shock. So yeah, no, that's actually I'm glad you brought that up. If we're talking about that, that's a good point.
I am definitely a plant person. For example, I have one here, but this one actually came from a different plant that is, I would
Oh,
say, 5 times the size of this one.
nice. There's a little baby of it. Nice.
Yeah, so I've been essentially pruning them. I have 12 plant babies from the one big plant.
Oh, that's awesome. What type of plant? My spider plant does that. Like you wouldn't believe.
Um, I forgot exactly what this one's called, but I think it's the pothos.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the like hanging one or trailing technically.
Yep.
Uh, I don't think it, yeah. Yeah, golden pothos. And this one I need to kind of move and actually hang up and stuff, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
This plant baby is being a little brat. It does not want to go up.
It just wants to go
So
up and down.
yeah, so I think this one wants to trail down.
That's awesome. That's really cool. You like plants too. You do good too. And is it more humid and hot still where you live?
It's not so hot, but it's definitely super humid.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah.
I live in North Carolina and I live by the water.
Oh, yeah.
So, so that'll definitely do it.
Yeah,
We
I
get a
remember you
lot of
said.
crazy weather, just not as bad as Colorado. We get snow maybe, I'd say it used to be every few years, but now I think it's like once a year we randomly get snow.
Okay, yeah. No, that's not too bad at all. I remember you told me the Carolinas before. I was trying to remember which one, but I haven't been there, so I don't know how the I've heard it's beautiful and I've heard it's humid. And same with like Virginia, I think they're all by each other. I really need to go check that area out. My family loves it over there, so
If you go anywhere in this area, I would recommend Richmond, Virginia. It is really pretty.
okay. Oh, that's good to know. I'll remember that. Richmond. Nice.
so
Yeah.
Uh,
so let's talk about what we people came here for a little bit. So you do porn. So what so how has your experiences, what you're looking forward to in the industry so far?
Yeah, so I am looking forward to meeting even more people, continuing to travel, explore my horizons too, and maybe do some other different styles and types that I haven't quite gone into as much yet. Um, so I'm definitely looking forward to that and just really continuing to grow. I'm really just getting started and getting the ball rolling, and it's just all new and exciting. So I hope that feeling stays for a little while, and just, I've been working so much. So just going strong with it. I hope I can continue that without getting burnt out at all. But I enjoy it so much, and especially even if I'm traveling a lot with it, that's just so fun to me. That makes it worthwhile. So just being able to do that, hopefully work with some bigger companies too, could be extremely exciting. I always dream about that. So yeah.
That brings me to my next question, your last statement. So we always ask everybody this, since you still are newer within 2 years, who are, you can answer directors too, you want to do this, but who are your top five that you want to work with? It can be men, women, TS, Animorphs, you know.
Oh gosh, can I name more styles? I'm so bad with names. It's so funny. I have like gone to films before and gone on set and been like, "Oh, it's gonna be so great working with you. I'm so excited." And they're like, "Hey, we're already following each other. We've like already talked before." And I'm like, oh my gosh." And like I don't even recognize. I'm so bad with remembering just names and people. Now faces, I'm good with that all day. I can even probably recognize them by like their penis, but I could never, unless I worked with them, I'd say more than twice. Then those are names that I really do remember. And now, as for people I want to work with, I actually am so unfamiliar there. That's like, I have like more role models that I look up to that I would love to be like an extra for, like more girl porn stars that I know of. But actually, I don't do girl on girl yet at all. That's one of the things I'd like to eventually explore too. But with the guy actors, and that's more what I focus on is boy girl. I don't know as many as the male performers. Like I grew up watching Pirates, so like any of that cast, I would just fangirl around. So those were like the porn stars I grew up knowing and seeing. So that's a really hard question that I can't quite answer yet, but hopefully by next year I actually have names down and know more people within the industry too.
Real quick, what's
So what
Pirates?
about companies then? Is there maybe five companies that you would like to work with that you want to shout out?
That's a hard one too. You know, Browsers, of course, that's a big one. And then Vixen sounds amazing, especially with how they treat all their girls and their performers in general. Um, they seem just extremely professional and respectful. Any company too that does treat their guys or girls, any of their performers that way, that's just awesome. So yeah, so I can I guess put it more of in a broad statement that any that are more similar to that style, which there are, even like the smaller companies that still treat their girls amazing. Those are the ones I always look forward to working with, and ones in the past I've worked with that those ones stand out to me the absolute most, and kind of just more how it should be too, I think, with what we're doing. So but yeah, once I know again more company names too, they'll always tell me where they're sending it. And it's usually a big company. And of course, my agency will be, one will know who they are and think it's big too. And I will have no idea um, who they are. They'll have to tell me, they're like, that advertisement that pops up when you're on Pornhub and blah, blah, blah. That's what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, I've seen that, but I never remember the name of it because I really am. I don't want to say naive per se because I do my research before working with anyone. That's really when I learn about them though, is they'll tell me who it is, and then I usually ask a few other girls and then also Google it. So
Yeah.
I am, yes, still new to the names.
I will say one of the things that makes that difficult is that producers slash directors work for example, if they work for, we'll say Bang Bros, they have other sub sites, So sometimes
Yeah.
it won't be specifically for Bang Bros, it'll be for this other site that is under their umbrella.
That's true too. Oh, Team Skeet's another one. Now that you brought up Bang Bros, that's actually one I have heard of. Team
Yeah.
Skeet's another one I heard of. So those are all ones that that would be cool too. But Yeah, I more just know the name rather than know how more so those two work compared to the really big ones like Browsers or Vixen. But yeah, that's so true. And they'll sell to a bunch of other companies too, which is awesome for networking and revenue. But then yeah, then I'm like, I have no idea what that company or that company is. So
I get that. That happens to me not too often lately because I'll go in and like ask again or make sure that they have it on the cost sheet. But I
oh
used to go in and do my little promo and be like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm filming for example, oh, I'm filming for a Team Skeet today." And the producer's like, "Oh, you're filming for Sis Loves Me." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
yep, exactly. So I've done that, or I'm like, when I've said like, I was like the VR Jam. He's like, girl, it's just VR Jam. Take the
Yeah.
out. It's like you have to remember specifically what the company is, which awesome, also awesome, company to work for. Great meeting you there too. But that was,
Awesome.
yeah, that was another example is like just the and like a could make a difference in the entire title too. You want to make sure you're saying what the exact title is too, for sure.
Exactly. I've had a little bit of trouble with that sometimes too, where I have to do like 3 takes just for that one 30-second like trailer or promo. And I'm like, why do I keep messing up?
Like you
I
did
keep
today.
adding an S, so I keep adding the, and they're just like, do I need to write it down for you, Sarah? And I'm just like, maybe.
They do. They put it
I
on
want
the
to
board for
joke.
me.
I want to joke like you did today. Right when you we were waiting for you to come on, she was doing like, "Hey, I'm about to do a podcast," and she'd recorded it like 4 or 5 times. It was so cute.
Yep. I love
I love that. That's something I would totally do too. Even just me setting up my lights and practicing with how my camera is right now, like I totally get it. And practice makes perfect. And if we're perfectionists, then we're gonna have a lot of takes. So
I always overthink it afterwards.
yeah.
Like even if the scene was like so amazing and they told me I did so good, I'll sit there the day after, or even like right after I'm done on set, and I'm like, I talked too much, or I could have done this better, or I should have changed that angle like this and whatever. And I realized like once you filmed it,
Oh
you
yeah.
can't go back and be like, oh, let me change that. Like
Right.
to accept what you have and then obviously realize that you actually did create a masterpiece.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it usually turns out looking great. There's been things I filmed and I was like, oh, I didn't like that, or even pictures I've taken, and I'm like, I don't like that. And then honestly, years later, I appreciate it. I love it because we grow and we change. I'm like, for what that was back then too, and how I looked then, that's really good too. And we have a different perspective of it. And even with my scenes too, I'm like, oh no, that was actually a lot better than I thought. I've learned more and I do more maybe now too and know my angles and lighting better. But I was like, that's more natural. And I'm finding out too, so many companies love that very raw, natural look too. I'm like, oh, cool, thank God. That's awesome. So
Yeah, I want
that
to say
helps
this.
a lot.
I want to say this, and like you might have changed the picture by the time this airs. I really do love that raincoat picture, the yellow raincoat on your
Yes.
page. I love that picture. It's a really
Yes.
cute picture.
Sweet. Thank you. Yeah. The photographer who took that is a dear, dear friend of mine who does some amazing work. So I really wanted to make, like, anytime I have a profile picture, cover, or pinned photo like that, the person who I even worked with is really to thank for that, because they're just an amazing person. And of course, it's a great photo too, which is awesome. But I always want to make sure it's an awesome friend of mine who took it, and yeah, it was a great idea of him to even think of that. So I'm very appreciative of that because without him, I would not have that photo, and it's perfect. It explains my character very well, Salty. So I like it.
And funny enough, I've actually been wanting to do a photo shoot like that. I guess you can say, never got around to it. One of it has to do with, do we film it when it's actually raining, or do you just get a water hose? Like I feel like that tends to be like an important question.
That's true.
Can't really predict the weather either.
No, you can't. I don't know how the rain is there. If you go to Colorado in the summertime, you're good at every day. You can make sure and get that. It might be a little bit colder there, but you could. But somewhere like here, absolutely not. It'd have to be the hose. But it more or less is like depending on what you're going for. If you do it with a hose, you're gonna have to be, and if you want it to look like rain, it's gonna have to be very particular because I've done regular hose shoots where it will straight up just look like a hose. But if you can make it look like rain, and if you can change really the brightness of, because if it's too sunny outside, it's not going to look as natural either. You want it to look like that cloudy, dull
Mhm.
look. And if you can change the exposure levels of it, which I'm sure you could, and then make it look like rain, have like a little umbrella, cute little thing, or wet shirt it with it, or whatever you want to do, just be wet. Then that could work. It would just be a matter of like lighting and how you make the water decipher on you. And you can maybe even do that. Like I've done the wet booths or like water booths where it's like almost like a shower with a black background.
Yeah.
And he made it look like it was raining entirely on me. It was my father-in-law who's a professional photographer, made one in our house, and would just he made like a little bath underneath and we would just drain it outside. But with the lighting and everything, what he did, he'd always make it look like it was naturally raining inside, which is kind of badass. So I'm sure you can though, as long as you have something going over you.
Mhm.
Then in any background, that it's so cool with what you can edit nowadays too, like being outside. I'm sure you could definitely make it work with a hose actually, now that I think about it. So
So
Because
question. Okay.
no, actually, you go.
No, go ahead.
Say
You
a
had I have a
story.
question that's going
Oh yeah.
forward. But go ahead.
So one time I did a photo shoot, and obviously, like we planned this like a month and a half ahead of time for a beach photo shoot. It ended up raining that day. So it was obviously like like nice and cloudy, and then just all of a sudden, shoo, the rain just hit. And I was like, this is the day I should have planned that umbrella shoot for. But instead, I'm at the beach having to run away from the water, actually.
yeah,
Mhm.
uh, it always happens like that too. Always.
It's always funny trying to like pre-schedule outdoor shoots because it's like we cannot control the weather. So sometimes it's like, all right, let's just have backup outfits in case the weather turns.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good idea. Even maybe a backup location. Sometimes, yeah, you really can't tell until like the day before. For our summers in Colorado,
Mhm.
Vegas, you could tell it's going to be like 110 every day. It's pretty typical. But yeah, for Colorado, you don't know if you're going to have a rainstorm in the afternoon or not. You can pretty much count on it. But how long it will last, if it'll stay cold, and then it won't always happen too. That's always like a hit or miss. And we do have like drier summers, like Cali, um,
Mhm.
too, and then more wet ones. Like all of a sudden, like some summers are look dead, some summers look super green. They do like every few years, just like California. So um, it's definitely harder to tell in the summer. It's just like how in the winter time, with how it snows there,
Mhm.
you have no idea what to expect, which
Exactly. It was getting warm, and so I was already like unpacking my like summer clothes and stuff. And then bam, a few days after I unpacked everything, I got the snow warning, and I was like, I should not have put away my winter gear.
oh, no, yeah, as I just did that actually today, but we're gonna be almost 90 degrees today and for the rest of the week. So I think I'm in the clear now in Vegas.
Yep.
It is a little bit more consistently hot, which uh
Time to wear bikinis now.
yeah. So we could just wear nothing outside now and you'd be still too hot, but that's nice. I prefer it over the snow, so can't complain.
Same.
So what have you shot recently?
What was that?
So what have you shot recently that we should look forward to?
Yeah, so I just got back from Seattle and I got to do two separate films there. And that was just awesome. They just were super professional. Treat all their girls extremely well too. They had snacks for us, water, provide transportation, lodging, and all that, which was great in itself. But that's the most recent one I did. It's so hard because some of them come out faster than the other ones. The first one I've seen to come out, or most recent one, I should say, the most recent one I've seen to come out of me is when I just came back from LA. I did do one. I wish I could remember the name because this awesome this I don't know if they're a company, but they're this group on Twitter that will send you anything that you're in, any links you're in, any photos or anything like that that you're in. And they just were like, "Oh, this you're in this awesome thing." And I do remember what I did. It was for LA, and they want you to be very natural looking, um, like very light makeup, and you just do very very typical normal like modeling, more natural looking modeling poses, all the way to extraordinarily explicit. They love to zoom in on parts, which is fun too, but it made it like a lot easier too for us to be like typical to just that, rather than like anything like crazy like fetish or like any crazy poses per se, to where like my legs are hurting or anything like that. It was fairly like easygoing, and they were really nice guys to shoot for. It was all solo too for this one, and yeah, it looked a lot better than I imagined when they're like, "Oh, you don't need to worry about like lipstick, and just light makeup and any outfit you want." I was like a little nervous. I was like, "Oh, it's like it's so natural looking. Like, how is this gonna turn out?" But it turned out just like awesome. Honestly, they were able to really, their lighting was fantastic. The photographers, videographers were both fantastic, and they were able to bring out the natural beauty more so too. So I wasn't like seeing all my flaws. It was like the opposite, which that was really nice. And they were really quick on bringing that out. I only did that one only a couple weeks ago. And so hopefully the Seattle ones that I actually did the most recently, a few days ago, those will come out pretty quick too. That was with, like I said, and I wish I remember the company name. When you see the advertisements on Pornhub that pop up, um, I want to say they're called Kinky Toys, was the company that they particularly provide and sell their
Mhm.
material to. So,
Nice. So, as far as your LA shoot, I think I have an educated guess as to who it might be. Um, Especially if you may have done like 4 photo sets
It
and
sounds
then
like
a solo
ATK.
video. Yes,
It
that's
sounds like
right.
ATK. That's
ATK
what I
or
was thinking the entire time.
Kingdom.
Like, it sounds like ATK.
I think it was ATK sounds most familiar. I did like so I did my videography first, which was like a nice little interview of like a questionnaire, and then I did like a little dance, and then typical like masturbation video. And then for the
Yes.
photo shoot was very unique. It was in this beautiful old church house in LA, and they did like 10 different outfits is what they needed from me.
Yeah. So
If
that
that's
That
definitely
definitely
sounds
sounds
like,
like
Oh,
ATK.
and
yeah.
yeah, and they were awesome. If that's who it
Mhm.
was, they were fantastic. And I always get so nervous, honestly, before these shoots because they they speak to me so professionally via text, and I know they're extremely reputable. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like just be on your best behavior, be such a lady. And then when I get there, the way we can just talk and hang out and really like laugh about anything too, and just and
Yeah.
how friendly they are, and really like down to earth, still extremely professional, but they made me feel so much more comfortable compared to how nervous I was. And most companies like kind of see that I'm so nervous when I get there, and they're like, give me a hug, and like oh, and like kind of warm me up, like you're gonna do great. Like it just, they're so empowering that it helps a ton, honestly. They were awesome.
Absolutely. Because with everything that you said, that was my first thought was like, oh, ATK, they're the ones. Because they are so good on set. And I think we have probably shot at the same location, just from the description that you gave. Like, I
The
really
church.
think it's them. And honestly, shout out to AT Kingdom. They are amazing. They're
We are.
really good at like showing your natural side, your natural beauty, and letting your confidence out, you know?
Mm. Yes, I fully agree. I do. I mean, by the end of it, we were joking about cartoons and showing each other cartoons and stuff, and we were talking about which ramen we were gonna get afterwards, and it was just it's if it can end up if all films and even photo shoots or work experiences could be like that, then I'd be so happy. And I'd say where I find where I experience that the most is within the porn industry. That is definitely by far where I meet these other coworkers. I definitely can call them, where it's just amazing personalities and where we can just hang out and all my nerves can go away and I can actually have fun and still remain professional. A lot of people wouldn't expect that or really think that, but it's very true within this industry how that is. So
Absolutely. I like to think of us performers or just all industry folk as those misfits from high school, you know?
that's very true.
Kind of
That
bump
was
into
very
the
true.
different cliques and stuff like that, but we kind of always seem to stand out a little bit, or just weren't fully able to be immersed in that because we always had our own thing going too, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. I could probably say most of the people I knew in high school would have not been surprised of this much at all too. And I definitely was a little bit more of a misfit, but more like of a spicy, out there, more open-minded gal too. So uh, I can definitely see that.
That actually reminds me, my high school reunion is coming up this year. I still don't know if I'm going.
Is it
What is
your
the
10 year?
stance? Yeah, the 10 year.
Okay, yeah, that mine is as well actually. And I don't thank God, I don't think anyone has planned anything because I wouldn't probably go until like 20th would be the first. I wouldn't go after only 10, only because I don't know, we still kind of all see each other when we go to the local bars and go out. It's still not too far out to where like a lot of us like do with not myself, but a lot of my friends do have kids and stuff now too. So that is still changed. But a lot of them are still babies and toddlers. So I don't know if like they might last minute plan something, but I don't even know for how many people I knew. I don't even know who would end up knowing about it because those 10 years, I don't know how
Um,
yours is.
I was
Facebook
gonna say
group.
something
I have a
since
Facebook
I've
group.
experienced my 10-year group already. So usually they keep records because when I had my 10-year reunion, I was getting emails and I don't recall them getting my email, but they got my email and basically they sent everything out. And the thing is like, don't you know that little thing you did called student council elections? Your student council president is over the election. I mean, over the reunion. That's a
Oh,
permanent. That's a permanent position.
oh, that's
So,
good to know. I'm friends with mine, so I can maybe I'll
usually,
ask him then if.
like,
My
well,
God.
at least from my school, they're over it, and then the executive board, the three
Uh-huh.
like it's usually three people. They are there as assistants for them. So I was on my exec board, so I was one of those three. And so I have planned my 10-year. Don't call me old. My
I
10-year. Oh, I'm extremely nerdy. Everybody knows I'm a nerd. My
I
10
know.
year
Yeah, you did it.
and my 20-year reunion. And I would say this is because I've been to my 10-year and my 20-year. Go to your 10-year because life is short and you'd be surprised how many people do not make that 20-year reunion.
Wow, yeah, dang.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
literally like I was looking at pictures like a few weeks ago of the 10-year and 20-year, and we actually made a table for like a lot of people who passed away.
Oh,
Like it was like at the first one it was probably like one or two. At the 10-year one, the 20-year one it was like about around like 12, 15, and it was just like, oh, we just dying. So I would say go to both just because of that. And
yes.
you like at least I don't know how large your graduating class was.
It was pretty good.
Mine was like 310 around there.
Oh, ours was
Um
several hundred. I think because we had a huge school, so I want to say ours was. God, I could be wrong here, but I thought ours, and maybe it was our whole school was closer to over 1,000 kids. But then we had, I thought, like around 400 to 500
Hmm.
seniors that graduated. I
That's
could be wrong. It's been
that's a
so long.
lot. That's a lot.
But we
Yeah,
did
Uh,
have a big school.
if
Hmm.
I remember correctly, mine was about 450. I think it
Oh
was
yeah.
441 kind
how
of
many? The thing
number.
is, like, I don't know how many schools are in your district because I know in my district we only had seven schools
Hmm.
in like the main city, and then you had the outskirts. So a lot of like we had a lot of places to go, um, and then a lot of people just didn't graduate because they
No,
didn't deserve
see,
graduation.
I was a year late technically. I still do. It's been a lot better since I've moved lower to sea level and I'm in the heat now. But with my autoimmune disease, I technically was a super senior. I just finished online actually 1 month into the next school year. So I still finished the same year. But I would have been a part of the next. So I hope I don't get the email for class of 2016 because I grew up with and was always class of 2015 until I had to be in the hospital for most of my
Mhm.
senior year.
I think they definitely would still keep you as a 2015 graduate then.
Yeah, I would
Well,
think, and I'm
are
sure if
you
I talk
2015,
to
sir?
all
Yeah,
them as
I'm 2015 graduate too.
Oh my
oh,
God.
nice. Yeah, I love that.
Y'all just making me feel so old
Except for 10
now.
years.
I'm
But yeah, I'll
class.
just
I'm
talk to
class.
my class president, and
I'm
he's
class.
cool.
I'm class of 2001. Jesus.
God.
Ouch.
I know you've said this a few times, but damn. Like a baby
Ah,
sometimes hearing that, you know?
It
that
makes
just
me feel better as I'm like in my late 20s, almost 30. I'm like, no, it's okay. I like being feel like I'm just the really youthful baby one still. I'm like, that's okay. You can still do that. When I was younger, it sucked, and I'm like, that's fine. Inching towards 30, you can make me feel like a baby, sure.
I
Yes.
think it's always funny when we'll just say when you're young, you want to grow up fast.
Yeah, you
But
do.
once you start growing, and we'll say 25-ish, you're just like, you know what? I wish time would slow down.
Yeah.
Like,
like
let me have fun in
we
my
literally we
20s. Like,
literally are talking about doing a 25 year just because so many people passed. And then, oh, what's crazy is like you talking about your 10 year. People knew I did work in the industry. So at my 10 year, it was a it was a topic of discussion because someone like people I knew, whatever, like someone I knew was like, so Raw, so like let me ask you this, how can I and people like generally like want to sit you aside and talk about getting in and it's hilarious. But you also get people who you did not talk to, depending on I don't know your popularity level, even though I know you're probably way up here. I was, somewhere, and like people you didn't talk to come up to you like they were your bestest friends in high school. I'm like, mother sucker,
Ah,
we didn't talk. I mean, we might have talked in passing, but we
totally
you
not
act
like
you acting like we talked on the phone and with our legs like perched up on our stomach, your legs crossed. We ain't talk like that. And it's like we were
see,
like
I'm one of those people that I was both quiet and talkative. I know it sounds weird, but I was, in a sense, the popular shy nerd.
oh,
I was in all the like AP and dual credit classes and stuff like that. And at least in my school, it was actually like the popular kids were the AP kids. That's where all the cheerleaders and football players were. And guess what? With me being a nerd, I was helping everyone with their homework.
I love that.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So sometimes I was like essentially getting paid to tutor people and stuff like that. So even if I didn't know people, they knew me and they would come up and be like, yo, I'm struggling with this kind of equation. Can you help me? And I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I have a little bit of time after class or between these classes and I'll just, a little 20-minute tutoring session and I'll help you with that equation real quick.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great too. I probably could have needed that for some of my classes. I did okay with with school, besides my last year of I'm sorry, something started just like going crazy in my house. Besides the last
Is
year
that
of
your
me getting
kitties fighting?
sick, no, the cats both like perked up and are staring at it, like honestly not sure what it
Hi,
is.
kitties. But he just ran
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or she just
I'm just
ran. I
gonna
don't
go see
know.
what it is. She's observing it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Here, give me 1 second. Let me just go check. The way they freaked out.
Yeah.
Make sure I just heard the weirdest noise.
There we go. Go ahead.
All right,
Go
good.
ahead.
We're back.
Yeah, for school though, I did pretty good. I was in all of the AP classes, which
Mm,
with how sick I got, I probably would have done better if I just stuck with regular and didn't overdo myself and
mhm.
have so much work and then fall behind so much my senior year to where I had to just keep finishing stuff online. And so, but I never like to go the easy route, so I chose with honor and AP classes. Was planning on going to a much bigger school afterwards, but with just how my health was, it became really never an option for me to continue on going to school consistently until I really figured out my autoimmune disease, which luckily we've gone a lot. Still, some work needs to be done, but a lot better,
Mhm.
But yeah, I did really good in school. I don't know if I was considered a little bit nerdy, but I also was a cheerleader. I did every sport under the sun. I was only popular in a sense to where I knew everyone, but I was really weird and very annoying and out there. And I was a little promiscuous. And so I didn't have the best reputation with everyone. And then I had a great reputation with a lot. But no matter what, everyone knew who I was. And people would, even when I go out in Colorado Springs now, people come up to me or even message me and let me know that we went to high school together and stuff. And that's really cool too. Like as long as they don't pretend like we were best friends, like what you were saying, that'd be a little weird. But if they're like, you know, um, supportive of what I do and they've become like good fans of mine too, I really do respect and I like that too, which is awesome. But I have more friends that I was close to that don't like what I do for a living, that totally loved my free spirited, weird nature and promiscuous nature back then. But now that I've actually become very professional and like kind of calmed down actually, and matured a lot, and then do it professionally for money, they probably would not approach me. They actually don't like me anymore. Not a lot of them. A lot of my high school friends are like my biggest fans, which I love and appreciate. That you can't ask for um, a better fan base than that. But I do have like a couple friends. I'm not sure if they just like end up being just a little bit more closed minded later on, or however their morals may have changed when they became an adult, or relationships, or whatever. And college changes a lot of people to, and college experiences alone too. So I don't take it personally, but that would be more my experience, or what I'm worried about when I go is the ones that I would want to embrace and who I adored so much would act like they don't like me or know me, and then the ones that like I didn't really know are like acting like they were my best friends. That's something like that would just be so kind of just scary and fake. I have bad social anxiety, so that would worry me a little bit.
I get
See,
that.
I see, like, don't you know how you vote at the end of the year about like best couple and all that stuff like that? I won most memorable person, but it was only because I wrestled on television. And it's like the thing is it was more so of a, in my opinion, more so of a joke. The people like, because I won it, and there's this other person who won it. I'm not gonna say her name, but they used to make fun of this person. And like, I never had an issue with said person or whatever, because we were in the same school from elementary to 12th grade. But they had a name for this person, and they won most memorable person. And I only seen them once since graduation, but it was things like that. So that's why I was somewhat known around the school, and because I didn't care. I was like, she can take. I don't curse anymore, but
Mhm.
I almost got like this. I almost got expelled from from school when I said something about somebody on television, back in the day. So I was remembered for like that statement I said. So
Hmm.
and I will say it after the podcast what I said, but it was really messed up and it should have been said. And like me and that person I said that to, squash the beef like at graduation, even
Yeah.
though like 5 years later I ran into them and we almost got into a fight for what I said then. So it's a lot of growth. But I would recommend you go to your 10 year if you can go to it because I feel it's worth it just because people die.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find out because it would be, I don't know when they'd have it
Next
over
year.
the summer time. It'd be this year. I'd have to go back to Colorado
They
for
had
it.
mine, they had mine in like April.
Oh,
So
really? So it'd be like now. Um, I know when they did, because I was friends with all the classes since I was a freshman. I know the 10 year last year, so the class that was above mine, I was friends with a ton of them. They ended up having the 10 year, the very beginning of June was when they had their 10 year. I was in Colorado for it, but everyone ended up going to our friend's wedding instead, and only a couple of people went to the reunion because they had our friend's wedding that was the same class as the
Mhm.
reunion. So really, it was more the reunion, not the wedding, which was super nice. But yeah, and it was the very beginning of June is when they had it because Colorado's our weather sucks. April right now, we actually just got a blizzard
oh wow.
just like a day or two ago. It was snowing so bad my friend couldn't move her stuff, even though it was sunny that morning and she was planning to the day prior. Colorado was nuts with our random thunderstorms and snowstorms. So
Yeah, with Colorado, I've heard jokes about wearing like flip-flops and shorts and then just bring a puffer coat with you.
yeah. Yeah. Honestly, bring some snow boots too, just in case. Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely changes up. They call the Colorado bipolar weather, or weather bipolar there. And there's a couple other states though that I've been to where I'm like, wow, it's kind of similar. Colorado's not the only bipolar weather state that there is. Or even like Vegas in the spring and fall, how it
Mhm.
changes from the day into the nighttime, that desert heat to the cold. Even that alone, I'm like, okay, this is kind of similar actually. Minus the snow, this is very extremely different. So
The weather can get insane, especially nowadays, I feel like.
yeah, yeah, you're right, especially now. Hmm.
Mm.
Real quick, what do you have coming up on like your personal content creation stuff? Like what do you have coming out on your personal pages? Like
Yes.
your OnlyFans and stuff?
Yeah, so I post as I go, and I always make sure when I travel to take my own content and of my travels too, because people like seeing where I'm at, what I'm doing, where I'm going. I love OnlyFans for that because it's a lot more personal and they are knowing what you're up to too. So right now, I'm not planning to be back in LA until the very beginning of May. That could change by this weekend with how my schedule works and how I get booked. I could definitely go to another state by this weekend once I check my emails. So, but right now, I've been kind of just after going to like 5 different states in 1 month. I've been just relaxing, chilling, just kind of waiting to check and see if I have to go anywhere. But my agency's not sending me anywhere until the beginning of May. So, and that will just be LA is just a drive away, so I don't have to hop on a plane for that. But for me personally, I'm trying to think if anything is coming up. My next film that I'm doing here in town is actually tonight, so that is really exciting. And we'll definitely do some behind the scenes for that for my OnlyFans. So, beginning of this week, I'm thinking because I'm working with this company today and Wednesday. So, I'll probably do a little bit like a preview, today for it. And then by the end of the week, there'll be a lot more after that second film. So, some local stuff will be finally coming about. And I do have a really big collab planned. We're coming up with a super neat idea with POV Master, who's just an awesome guy to work with too. So that I'm really, really looking forward to that collab too, since we are going to make it a bit more unique compared to what we've done before. Um, and yeah, all local, which is rare for me, which I love right now. So yeah, that's the only things I could think of the soonish uh, things that are coming up for me.
So this like just so you know, like since we were recording early, since like yeah, you said you're not gonna be here till May. Like she's going to Exotica Chicago, and I'm taking my little vacation. So we're recording early right now. So this doesn't come out until like I think the end of May, beginning of June. So
Nice.
everything that you just said, everybody go back and check that out. And I'm sure the POV thing he should have just dropped. So go watch
Okay.
that and pay for it. And
Mhm.
give Miss Cakes all the money. Just say, you know what? Here's $10 just for having the last name Cake.
Oh.
You know, I like how they say like I love you have like a fat dude love cake, all us dudes love cake. So give
I
Cake some
love
cake.
me some cake.
Yes, hopefully by the when this drops, all of those will definitely be out too. I'm definitely
So
hoping.
where can everybody find you, support you, give you all the monies?
Oh yeah. So I have like my three main accounts. If you are interested in my modeling work, then I do have my Instagram, which is Kayleigh_cake. And then if you do want the little bit more spicy of content and to find out where you can find everything else, I always share any collab I do with any company. Always gets put on Twitter, and then I'll go ahead and share that on my account so you can go to their website. And that one is Kayleigh_cake with an X at the end for Twitter. So Kayleigh Cakes. And then, of course, I have my OnlyFans, which I post full length videos of boy girl. I even have a girl on there, of self play, of anything you could see, way more than my Twitter. I post directly on there, and my OnlyFans is Kayleigh_cake as well. So those are the ones you could definitely find me on.
So you kept them pretty simple and pretty easy to find.
Yes, definitely make it easier for myself too. So
So
yeah.
where
Absolutely.
can they find you, Miss Lace?
And you guys can find me on iamsaralace.com. All of my links and my social medias will be on there.
You can find me at you can find us at the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook and the Twitter and on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram at Rawstar, RAWSTARR, and on the X or Twitter, however what do you want to call it today, and on the Blue Sky. Miss Cake, thank you for coming on. We really appreciated your time. You are fun. I see great things from you. By the way, y'all, I'm gonna say it one more time. I forgot to say this. Uh, if you listen to this and you want to book her, she's with 101 modeling. So just hit them up and say, "Hey, I want this beautiful, dang fine woman to come on my set and treat her with respect and and get her on." But yeah, thanks for coming on. You are a joy, a pleasure, and I see so many great things in your future. So I look forward to crossing your paths at one of these award shows.
Oh, awesome. Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really look forward to meeting you, hopefully in person at one of those. That'll be awesome. Thank you.
All right, be well,
I hope to
everybody.
see
Stay
you
blessed.
again soon, babe.
Yes.
Peace.